Sometimes you play a game that just makes you laugh with how stupid it is, and that's what happened to me with 7 Sins. A game that will make you think of The Sims at first, but then you actually play it and think, wow, that is quite different for the better. Because does The Sims let you piss on a plant to relieve your anger? It truly does not. It also allows you some other actions though that would never exist in The Sims, unless you played with mods, I think. This guy is you, at least in the game. Maybe he's relatable to you or something outside of it too, but to me he isn't because I am a manlet and short and I also can't grow hair on my chest or tummy. It's one of my hidden life skills being almost hairless, except for on my legs and head, luckily, because I don't want to be bald. He just moved to a new big city called Apple City. In a world where Steve Jobs wouldn't have died, this would probably exist. Here's a public service announcement. If you got cancer, get it treated. Don't just drink smoothies and hope it fixes you. What's the most important thing when moving to a new city? A job and being a hit with the ladies. So why not be 2 flies with 1 fly smasher? Start working at a boutique. You get paid and get to hang around women. Is there anything better in the world? If there wouldn't be your boss who often gropes your co-worker. But you can grope him back, so that kinda makes it okay since you get payback for her. And for yourself if you're into cock and ball torture. Or just seduce his wife even though she's kinda ugly, so she cheats on him with you. In a way, it kinda made me wish that the game had a character creator. Obviously, this dude is supposed to represent the typical macho man who just wants to get into some panties, but some extra immersion wouldn't have hurt if you can pretend that it's actually you. But maybe that's the point, so we are not the sinners. If you press the grope command, it makes you think, hey, that wasn't me doing it, it was the character in the game, even though you pressed the button to do it, so it was your fault. Let's take Spec Ops The Line as an example for this. Why should I feel bad for bombing civilians in a video game where I don't even get a choice? There was no hidden mechanic or way out, I had to press the button to do it. Just giving you a simple yes or no question would also not cut it. It doesn't really activate your brain to really make you rethink your way of life. In general, it makes me wonder what's even the point of a war is bad game. How can you be so dumb to think war is actually fun and great? If a video game like Call of Duty can make you think you want to join the army, then well, enjoy it I guess. Obviously war isn't just a total black and white scenario, unless it's something like the Iraq war that never should have happened. It gave us Drakengard a year at least, so thanks for that, George W. Bush. One of the rare games where I feel I was at fault was Undertale when I first played it when it released, and it wasn't spoiled to head and back on how you should play it with people knowing all the twists. You kill a single enemy, you get locked into the normal ending, that's it. The game never told me to kill, but I killed because I thought I should kill before I kinda thought let's stop killing, but at that point it was already too late. I played through the first Drakengard in Angelus or Angel, but they kinda changed all the things around in the western version because religion, you can mention that. Your pet dragon that loves you a lot and well, she also loves you a lot, will keep throwing snarky remarks at you for killing so many enemies, and it always made me wanna shut her up. Too bad you can't since your guy is a mute, because of her. To add some of that extra meta layer to it, because you know technically she is right, and maybe that's why it makes you roll your eyes whenever she asks you, why do you have to kill so many enemies? Maybe because I want to play and beat the game, you dumb dragon, but also because it's actually kind of fun to just mindlessly kill too many enemies. I could just be playing Dynasty Warriors instead though, but what other game lets you be in a party with a pedophile, who is kinda the least awful person? Except if we count the Drakengard 1.3 novel, then he is as bad as the rest, but in that novel, shit's fucked. Even more than normally. Not too many. Something that wouldn't be made today anymore. Well, even back in the day they tried their best to change Leonard's story in the western version to not include that he likes kids. I don't think Square or any other publisher would ever allow Yoko Taro to do that again, even when he proved he can handle such topics with care. Kinda wanted to say this game probably wouldn't be made today anymore either, but you can find tons of sexual games out there who are doing way worse than this. Just that those games would never get sold in a store unlike this one, and we should be happy that digital stores exist, because they would never remove games where the content is deemed too bad to be sold, right? Those would always sell everything possible. Stories where I am supposed to feel like a bad person don't really make me feel I'm actually a bad person, because in the end I'm still just not the person doing it. I can enjoy shooting civilians because I know it's not real. I can grope women or my boss because I know it's not real. I can also rob them. It's kind of funny how the tutorial makes you steal money from your girlfriend. Who the hell does that? How would she not notice it? If you steal it from a random person, sure, I get it, but if she's your girlfriend, you could ask if she wants to lend you some money. Even that would be weird though, I think. Towards the end, there's a woman that can also steal money from you though, and I mean with a name like hers, I think you can't even really be mad about it. The warning signs were there. The game never got an American release, and at first I thought maybe it's one of those budget problems that many smaller European devs had when they make bad game after bad game to just push them out to make some cash. But they pretty much always managed to find publishers in Europe and America for their games, and then I remembered, wasn't there that one little hot coffee? Not the one where McDonald's rightfully got sued for making the coffee too hot, but the San Andreas one. Shooting people fine, having sex, hell no, you can't put that into a game. And the game released around the time when it was a big thing in American news, so I think that played a big role in them either not finding a publisher or not even trying to because maybe they thought it would hit them next. At least it would have put some eyes onto the game maybe, because well, this one flopped. Unlike being some kind of open world where you can do whatever you want, it's built like a classical game, with stages where you have to finish certain objectives. Not too different from the story mode of something like The Sims on the GameCube. In the first one you have to sell enough items in the boutique and it teaches you the basics of the game. Just tell people what they want to hear, that's all. Isn't that what we all want? Even if we know they're not true. Sometimes you just want to be called a handsome boy from someone that isn't your mom. If they want a manly man, pick the masculine lines. If they want a little crybaby to pamper, pick the ones where you show weakness. Or other things like how many books you read, brag about old times, impress them with money, get them drunk and so on. Depending on the woman or guy, the main character gets mad, stressed out or just too horny, and if your meter fills up too far, you go crazy and look for the nearest person to mess with. You punch them if you got too mad, hump them if you're being too horny, or just flip out from the stress and you do not want it to happen since it destroys your relationship with them. Here the title of the game comes into play, 7 Sins. There's things to lower your emotions like drinking a coffee for $5 and that doesn't give you a sin, but what if you don't got $5? You have to then maybe look at these rabbits doing rabbit things. See that prompt? What could that mean? Oh yeah, it puts you into a minigame where you smash animals, but not the furry kind of smashing. Hans gets a Flammenwerfer. All of those actions are coming with minigames and after a while you will hate it because you just want to lower your stress but you have to play a minigame. Like having to run away from ladies who try to laugh at you being in your underwear. If that were me, I would actually enjoy it, but hey, we are all different. The sleeping minigames are the worst because you get loading screen after loading screen while other minigames quickly plop up, luckily at least. But the amount of Pearl Harbor you have to play is kinda insane. You will see the toilet a lot. And these stupid little bugs. It's like drinking a lot of soda. I love Pepsi Max. I'm not sponsored. But if you do these sins too often then nothing really happens. Except that you first have to get rid of these sins before you can sin again. So you have to do something good like doing the chores after you pissed into the sink. Finally a game that gets me. We all have visited a friend and used their thing like this before. Don't even try to lie. And yeah, this mechanic is just useless. You don't even get minigames for doing good deeds. Just a little animation like sorting books and then you go back to doing sins. The second level is a club where big shots hang out and you get tasked to bring those people back home without them knowing so you can record them for a TV show. You are allowed to do what you want at first, so I picked the cutest girl possible, and somehow in the first 2 levels I always picked the lady with the cutest underwear first. Maybe I got a good nose for those kind of things. Don't sniff them in the store though. I guess if a girl allows you to see her in her underwear, you can sniff theirs, but I'm not sure. I can't show the second girl because you actually see her nipples when you bring her home. I didn't think the game would go that far since normally the underwear stays on during the scenes where you push your pee-pee in. I feel ashamed of myself saying it that way. Why not remove at least the bra when those scenes happen if you show nipples anyways? Not like I mind, I think it's sorted this way. I remember watching cosplay porn back in the day and every time they took the clothes off, I also turned the video off because what's the point? I want to see her looking like the anime girl. She won't look like the anime girl if she's naked just because she has a wig on. I don't get it. Why do they keep doing that? I don't watch that kind of stuff in general anymore though because I'm poorly 2D now. Sorry ladies, I'm off the market. This stage also shows you that you can become friends with men. And they're harder than women because they do not want to do certain actions with you. Like this guy does not want to dance. What's wrong with 2 guys dancing? Later on there's some gay fellas though, so it's kinda progressive for its time, sure. You mostly just make out and get into bed with them to better your standing in the world, but you do the same with the ladies. When you play a game like this from 2005, what would you expect? Yep, homophobic jokes, but there are none. I wouldn't even have minded them since it can be funny, I can say this, I got enough gay friends, but they're nowhere to be found to my surprise. You sit there and wonder when will this game go super duper off the rails about things like that. But it just never happens. The main character doesn't even go like disgusting, have to kiss and make out with men just to get a better job. He only got his mission on his mind and is too busy to discriminate. Even when a woman turns out to be a man, he does not care. So the game is actually not offensive at all, that much kinda. My title is in shambles. Sorry for letting you down. After that, you get into another club, one that's a bit freaky. It is the easiest level in the game since you already start at half love with everyone since the people here are total sluts. You sit down, tell them something they like to hear, and 5 minutes after, you're already in bed with them. But I guess that's kinda the point of these clubs. I'm the total opposite of it. What's the point of doing it if there's no love involved? Yep, spoken like a true virgin. I like this lady though because at least she still seems somewhat classy. Talking about books with her and then doing some meditation. I enjoyed doing that minigame on Wii Fit. Really helped me to find my inner peace. It changed my life. This sounds like I'm making a joke, but I'm not. You should try it out too. She's so classy that she also must be a pretty big fan of that one Mario Party minigame where you jackhammer the outline of something because that's what her bad minigame is about. Look at her go. This does not seem comfy at all, but hey, I don't really kink shame most of the time. If that's your favorite position, well. The main goal of this level is to find out their real name so you can blackmail them so you can gain power in the city, and that's a bit mean. Why not win them over with the power of love, if they got any? The only person who maybe deserves it is Viper because we call our wife that does not exist to tell her to put the kids that do not exist into bed and it turns her on. So she's not against cheating, which should show you that you never ever should consider dating her because she most likely will cheat on you. And I say this as someone who enjoys NTR. I don't like bald women though, but I also do not like bald men. We actually do get punished for the blackmailing, since people do not enjoy us getting so much influence, so we just get beaten up by random guys who were hired to do it, to teach us a lesson and to show us that there's always a bigger fish in the pond. Who wants to keep the smaller fish small so they don't escape it? I would be a goldfish in a bowl with like 20 fancy caught fishies. So now you join the combat club undercover to show them not to mess with you, a club you already learned about from Viper. The one who really enjoyed inflicting pain onto you, and I may be a masochist, but I hate this whole leather thing, it just doesn't look nice to me. It's kinda nicer when a lady does it with casual clothing. So you don't expect it, you come home from work and boom, suddenly your wife slaps you and gives you a little kiss on your cheek and asks you if work was alright. The game also just went crazy at this point and ran like shit, and I don't know if that's an emulation issue or if that also happens on a normal console, but the game just starts crashing sometimes when you want to do a minigame or even just getting half naked for the shower. I had to restart a lot before I thought, hey, I need to fix this, but maybe it was just too steamy for the PS2 to handle. It was easy to fix though, just had to restart, and instead of using a save state, you just go to the main menu and load it from there. Aside from that, the one thing that made this level even harder is that the button prompts sometimes are just switching around too fast. I wanted to give this lady a massage like 2 times, and every time I did it, the prompt changed to some stupid cobra attack in the moment I pressed the button, where she suddenly whoops my ass and I lost all of my love points with her, so I have to go through all the boring stuff again. And don't even get me started on the mental health teacher or whatever he is. The only real way to get him to like you was to keep giving him money, and maybe that's a metaphor for real therapy, because sometimes you get a shit therapist who is just there to suck out your money before you get the 7th therapist that can finally fix you, and it's like, oh, I'm a YouTuber, I make advertisements for better help, hey, please sign up for this shitty ass company, please, I need the money. You have to pass a test from all 3 teachers to be able to raise the relationship of the leader to the maximum, but you don't actually pass the test, you just cheat, make the 2 girls fall for you and they lie to Wagner for you, same with the Chinese guy when you bribe him enough. The thing is, the super duper leader of the club is the sadomaso lady that you met at the weird club before, and now you can get back at her when you get into a fight. You spanked my ass, but now I will spank your face, even though it's with a fist and that kinda probably hurts, but hey, she fights back, so she don't mind it, I think, so it's not my fault for hitting a woman. At this point, you will also just get bored of doing the same thing over and over. You read their description, you try out the lines you think will work, see what they like to hear, and then take them around these small levels to always pick the right choice till you can get into bed with them. But even The Sims still works like that to this day, just with way more choices and way more things to do and way more customization and, well, at least it kinda tries to change it up in the next one, where your cook friend needs your help to keep his business afloat and you have to seduce his enemies. Like owners from other McDonald's, food critics and all that, so they keep him and you on their good side. But to win their heart you have to help your friend out, who then cooks up certain things for you. Like this hot sauce that gets served on this toy, and it drives people wild. Before you see the hot sauce, you think he will just sprinkle some of it into their food when they're not looking, but no, he just pulls this out for them to lick. Who would fall for that? Also, take a look at the ugliest Tetris clone of all time. No wonder nobody wants to eat here if your food comes into my tummy looking like this. I picked this food critic as my last one, and all the other men before that never went as far as even trying to get naked, but this guy, he was probably gay. But why would he want it in a freezer? That's not romantic at all. And no, you can't go farther than this, I think. There is no actual gay sex, so sorry to any lady or gay guy out there who would want to see two bad 3D models of sleazy men getting it on, inside of a cold room. Same thing with the next mission, where you gotta get a guy to really like you to do a big company deal with. I mean, if I could make sure a $1 billion deal gets through, then I would also kiss another man, despite being straight. We all have a price tag on us, don't lie. It's a good old question that every friend group has asked themselves. For how much money would you suck a dick? Some people do the classic haha I would do it for free joke, others say maybe 1 million, and then there's the one bro who says he would never ever do it even for unlimited money. And that's a big fat lie. If someone waved you $5 million into your face, you will suck him off. You even get props for finally coming out of the closet. I wonder if anyone ever played this and thought, wow, this gives me the courage to do the same. Probably not. I'm straight, but I could never ever stay inside of a closet because as a kid I watched one single episode of that animated Ghostbusters show, and in that one there was Dracula or someone who looked like Dracula living inside of a closet dimension and would come into your room through closets. I just googled it again and holy shit, looking at that dude, there's no fucking wonder I was scared shitless. Even now he looks scary and creepy. Maybe I'm just a scaredy cat, I don't know. I'm not including any pictures of him because I don't want to traumatize you too. Just look up the boogeyman in Ghostbusters if you want to see him for yourself, don't do it. After seducing the lady who gives you a small loan of $1 billion, all you have to do is also to seduce the lady boss, and there you go. You have done it. You are the biggest man in Apple City. Except that your brain does not think so and gives you nightmares about the things you had to do to get there, which makes no sense. Our boss was a slimy dude. So why should we feel bad about pissing on his plants and stealing some cash from him? So it's like that one Christmas story where the guy gets visited by 3 ghosts so he starts enjoying Christmas. Maybe the game also thought you would start to enjoy it now, but you won't, because it's a minigame marathon of playing the same minigames in these streams. Somehow we even feel guilty about the cook because we did not like his food despite us saving his restaurant. Is this how French people treat their savior? Without us he would live on the streets with the rats. Better than being controlled by one. But even I would prefer being controlled by a rat than living on the streets with the rats, but hey. You also have to play the worst minigame in the game a couple of times where you have to beat up people. You need to do things like hit them 5 times in a row and that kind of mumbo jumbo, and look at the bar, you can press it even if it's already out of it. It helps you out, but it feels like a dirty win, like sucker punching your opponent and they hit their head on the pavement and you just killed someone, so now you have to go to prison. The final challenge is winning while tanking every single hit, and if that isn't a total chat move, then I don't know what it is. Hate the main character all you want, but it does make him kinda cool. Now comes the part where I have to disappoint you. I got so far, but in the end it didn't even matter. The final challenge is to take a picture of all the ladies you seduced after you dressed them up however you want, and I couldn't get past the first one. This minigame makes me look like I'm a drunk person who is also doing other hard drugs, but I could just not get past it in the 5 twice and then I just gave up. Because I would have to do this for like over 10 times because I seduce so many ladies. Sorry for being a womanizer. The camera just goes crazy and I tried everything to get the required points, but I just couldn't do it. And maybe I also didn't want to do it anymore. At this point I've seen everything there is, and at least I even got to see a girl in a bunny suit, my absolute favorite. I was satisfied. I tried looking up the ending on YouTube, but there doesn't seem to be a single person who uploaded a full playthrough of it. So we will never know how it ends. Isn't that quite unsatisfying? I hope you care as little as me, so you don't want to slap me for not going the full mile. Let's just think this guy changed his ways and settled down to be a true family man and became the best dad ever. That's probably better than the real ending. Go home and be a family man. I would start a family with Chun-Li. I don't even care if she's 56 already. I don't care. Please, give me a chance. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the video and will have a good day, a good night, or whatever fits your time zone, because my time was ruined when playing this. It somehow had potential if it went into a more crazy route instead of being the same thing over and over. I like playing an asshole in video games, and in most games it doesn't feel like you're doing it for the fun of it. Here at first you really actually can have fun being one. Or maybe my taste in humor is just so far down the drain that it amused me. I guess I do have some masculinity in me for having like 5% fun with it. I have some Arnie movies to watch now to feed on that. Bye bye.